welcome back to my channel. This is Modesty33 here, aka Crystal with the C, back at you with another video. But if you're new to my channel, if you just happen to click on, welcome. I try to put out 1 to 2 videos a week, do sit downs, reviews, reactions, vlogs. So if any of that interests you, make sure you check out the prior videos on my channel. And if you see anything you like before you leave, make sure you subscribe. So you guys, I just wanted to, you'll see the title of this video, but I wanted to address what happened to Cloak and Dagger reactions. And so actually I want to go ahead and start off on a positive note. Like, on a positive note, Cloak and Dagger reactions are going to come out to you guys, so do not worry about that. I am still going to be doing season 2 reactions to Cloak and Dagger, but as you know, like, I think we're actually this week it should be coming up to episode, actually, well, let me just say today is Wednesday, April 24th. So I'm actually behind like 2 reactions because I haven't watched episode 3 or 4, and then probably I think maybe there might be a new episode this week, so that would be episode 5. So I'm behind 3 reactions, 2 to 3, probably might as well just say 3, but because I'm not gonna get it all done by the end of the week. But I am going to actually like watch, I should be able to watch 3 and 4 this week, and then go ahead and try to start editing some of that footage. But the bad news is, you guys, I did actually record episode 1 and 2, but that footage is gone. So I did want to do a quick review of episode 1 and 2, so I didn't have to do that when I uploaded episodes 3, 4, and 5. And then, like, so anyone who's coming onto the channel, they will see that, you know, you don't have to look for reactions to episode 1 and 2, because there's not going to be reaction to episode 1 and 2. It's going to start from episode 3, 4, 5, and so on. So I did just want to put this video out and address that, because I really was expecting to pick right back up once I ended off watching season 1 of Cloak and Dagger, which was like about 3 weeks ago. It's when I put out episode 10 reaction. But I've had a lot of stuff going on with church, work, so it's just been very busy, you guys. So I do apologize about that, but I do have to take care of those other responsibilities, and reactions do take a good bit of time to not just watch, because that's the fun part, is watching the show and reacting, but then the work comes in when you have to re-record and edit, and I do everything on my phone, if you did not know. So that takes a lot of time for me. Amongst all the other things I have to do. I enjoy doing that though, and I really enjoyed the feedback from you guys, so that's not an issue at all, but it does just take a good bit of time. So what had happened though is, like, the day that I went to go see Hellboy, and like, if you haven't watched that video, I do have a review on my channel of Hellboy, and also I have a date night video. I just want to give you guys, like, tell you guys what happened to those reactions before I actually get into my review. So essentially what happened was, I recorded the reactions on last Saturday, which was it was the same day that Hellboy came out. So that was like, I think April 13th is when I actually recorded episode 1 and 2 reactions. So the problem came in that, I don't know how this happened, but when where I go and watch the episodes from, they had episodes 1, 2. They had episodes 1 and 2, because at that point 3 had not yet come out. No, actually 3 was out. So like, it was 1, 2, and 3. They had episodes 1, 2, and 3. So I watched episode 1, but I don't know what happened, because episode 1 was not episode 1. It was actually episode 2. So like, I kept going back and trying to figure out what the problem was, because I'm like, okay, I'm seeing previously, but this is stuff I haven't seen. Like, are they kind of showing you a flash forward and then we'll catch up to some of that stuff? And so I was a little off put by how it picked up. But I watched the whole episode and I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, it's a little weird, but it's cool. Then I watched episode 2 to find out that episode 2 was actually episode 1. I don't know how that happened. That's never happened. Then I was going through some technical difficulties as far as the little tripod situation. My phone kept falling down. So most of that footage is not salvageable, because I was going to go ahead and put episode 2, you know, what I thought was episode 2, but it was in actuality episode 1 up, and then just kind of do this little review for episode 2. But yeah, that footage, none of that footage was salvageable really, because of the phone kept falling and the tripod kept falling over, and that has actually never happened before. So it must not have been meant to be. I don't know, guys, what that was about. So I just want to do a quick review of episode 1 and 2 of Cloak and Dagger. But anyway, I just want to give y'all that explanation in case you're looking for that on the channel. This is the explanation. That's what happened. That footage just was not salvageable. I wasn't comfortable with that, and it really would not have gone together. It would have really not. It wouldn't have gone well. So, and especially since I watched them out of order, it just kind of messed. The whole thing was kind of messed up. So as far as episode 1, the real episode 1, you kind of pick back up. That episode was called Restless Energy, if I'm not mistaken. That might have been episode 2, but it has on here, when I looked it up just now, it was called Restless Energy. So you really basically pick up where we left off with Tyrone and Tandy, but it's a little bit of a time jump. It looks like Tandy got a cute little haircut, and Tandy and her mom are going to therapy actually and kind of, I guess it's like one of those groups was it a group for domestic violence? I wasn't quite clear on that. I think it was, because you had the other girl who was in the group. I don't recall what her name was, but she was being physically abused by her boyfriend. And she had left and gone to a friend's house, but was thinking about going back because she still was in that mindset of, oh, he needs me. You know, he's very sweet. He's loving. And Tandy was just very angry. And so, you know, Tandy was going to the group with her mom. So you kind of pick back up from there as well. You have Tyrone, who's still living at the church. He's kind of restless because he can't really go out and do a lot of things because he's still wanted by the cops. So he's actually trying to help out O'Reilly, which I thought, I'm like, how did O'Reilly just pick back up and go back to work after I saw that last scene? I'm like, okay. So O'Reilly is back to work. O'Reilly is back to work. She's, you know, a bit off her game, but she is still back to work. And so you have Tyrone, who's trying to help out O'Reilly as far as you know, catching some of these people who are distributing drugs and doing all that on the street, some of these gangs. And then his intervention in these situations almost makes things a bit worse, and that's what O'Reilly is telling him. And so you have all of that going on. Yeah, Tyrone hasn't had much interaction with like anybody really in that time, since like he feels like, you know, the cops and everybody are still watching him. So he hasn't made contact with Evita. But he is going and checking on everybody, watching them. And then you have Tandy and Tyrone, who are lying to one another, where they're both like, yeah, everything's good, everything's great, you know, yeah, you know, I don't miss when we save the world at all. I don't miss that kind of stuff. But they clearly do, because they're each like, Tandy starts following the girl who, again, you know, her boyfriend was abusing her. She like essentially threatens the boy and like vandalizes his home. And so you see Tandy out there doing some little vigilante stuff, and then Tyrone's doing the same, but they aren't telling one another. So I know the episode pretty much ended off with them going to a club. They were trying to get on tape this like local gang who was again about to make like this drug deal. So that's from my understanding. I haven't watched the episode in a while, but like they were trying to get them on tape, to my understanding. And then so like they had the little tape recorder in the room, but before they can actually like get the gangs on tape, somebody killed all of them. So I'm not caught up, so I suspect that was O'Reilly, but it could have been somebody else. There could be another player. But then, you know, Tandy calls O'Reilly. O'Reilly comes and tells Tandy and Tyrone they need to leave. She'll get everything cleaned up. And so the episode, it was really cool. That's where episode 2 picks up, and that's one was called White Lines. So White Lines kind of picks up there when they're in the club, and O'Reilly comes and she's like, y'all need to leave. And I'll get everything cleaned up. And so that episode was really cool because it followed from that one event at the club. It followed like Tyrone's path, and then it followed Tandy, and then it also followed O'Reilly. So that was really cool. And then you found out like they all went on a different path, but everything that they were doing actually connected. So like with Tandy was still following this girl and, you know, trying to figure out what was going on with her because she didn't show up to group. So she was trying to find out, you know, what was going on with her, if anyone had seen her. And then at the same time, Tyrone was trying to figure out more about his ability and trying to figure out his place, because he felt like, again, every time he was trying to help and do something, it was getting worse. So then you had like, he went to Evita's aunt to try to get some guidance. She gave him a little bit of advice. You know, he was trying to take the advice and draw some symbol and then try to figure out where he was supposed to be. And then he ended up with the girl who Tandy was looking for. He ended up with her in the back of an ambulance, and there were people who almost shot him, and he tried to help the girl, but he could not help her. Then they later found a girl in a hospital, overdosed, and it was something about the privatization of this ambulance company, and it had to do with, I think something O'Reilly was investigating. She was investigating, yeah, it was one of the guys who died in the club. He owned that ambulance, ambulance company, that private ambulance company, and they were trafficking girls, I think, maybe. I don't think that was it wasn't really necessarily all clear in that episode what they were doing with the girls. So I have to watch episode 3 and 4, of course, to get more of an understanding. But yeah, that was my understanding, is that they were kind of using the van service to traffic girls and to do other kind of different things. So they were using that as like a cover. So O'Reilly was investigating that. But then you saw that O'Reilly was really different throughout the episode. She was just very sarcastic. She was more confident. She was cocky. And then, like, you find out at the end of the episode, like, Tyrone goes to, like, actually see O'Reilly, and she's tied up in her apartment. So that person, you know, again, who's going around and was helping Tandy out wasn't actually O'Reilly. And they come face to face at the end of the episode, but everybody ended off at the same place, like where they began at the beginning of the episode, because they all were following different leads, but it was cool that it led them back to the same place. So yeah, that was episode 1 and 2 from what I recall. It was really cool. It was a really cool introduction back to the characters and kind of seeing what they were up to. And then Tyrone did tell Evita the truth about his abilities. She was mad that he didn't reach out to her, so they kind of are on the outs with that. I'm trying to think of anything else, really. That was pretty much the majority of the episode from what I can recall. So I really look forward to doing reactions to episode 3 and 4. I believe all the technical difficulties, hopefully we're going to pray and speak that they will not prosper. I will not have any more technical issues. So episodes 3, 4, and 5 should be out to you within the next 2 weeks. Just give me some time, you guys. Again, it does take a minute to put all of these reactions on the phone, edit them, and upload them. So I really appreciate you guys' patience. I am still doing those reactions, and they will be out to you prayerfully in the next 2 weeks. So I just wanted to give you this little recap, episode 1 and 2, and kind of explain what happened to those reactions. If you are new to my channel and you're looking for them, I do apologize. They are lost. But hopefully, again, the recap was sufficient. So anyway, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I will see you episode 3, 4, and 5 for my reactions and my review of Cloak and Dagger season 2. So I hope you all have a really wonderful day wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. And I will see you in my very next video. Bye, guys.